We begin with the latest on the escalating Israel-Hamas war. Israeli forces waged ground operations against Hamas in Gaza in what Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called the second phase of the war. Speaking at a press conference in Tel Aviv, Netanyahu briefed about the ground invasion and warned that the fighting in Gaza will be long and difficult. He added that defeating Hamas was an existential test for Israel.
אתמול בערב נכנסו כוחות קרקעיים נוספים שלנו בשערי עזה, בפתחו של מעוז הרשע. זהו השלב השני של המלחמה, שמטרותיה ברורות. השמדת היכולות הצבאיות והשלטוניות של החמאס, והחזרת החטופים הביתה. שבכל שלב עד עכשיו, ובכל שלב מעכשיו, אנחנו נמצא כל אפשרות להחזיר את אחינו ואחיותינו החטופים לחיק משפחותיהם. אחרי המלחמה, כולם יצטרכו לתת תשובות לשאלות קשות, זה כולל אותי, שהמהלך הקרקעי, שאנחנו הרחבנו אותו, יסייע לנו במשימה הקדושה הזאת. בזה אנחנו עוסקים עכשיו.
Netanyahu reiterated Israel's call for Palestinian civilians to evacuate the northern Gaza Strip. This comes as Israeli Defense Forces released footage of what it said was the start of a second stage of the war. Israel said troops sent into Gaza on Friday night are still in the field, focusing on infrastructure including the extensive tunnel network built by Hamas.
עברו 3 שבועות מתחילת המלחמה. למלחמה הזו יש שלבים, היום אנחנו עוברים שלב. כוחות שלנו מבצעים כעת פעילות קרקעית ברצועת עזה. הפעילות הזו מלווה על ידי אש מדויקת וכבדה. אלה נועדו לשרת את כל מטרות המלחמה. פירוק חמאס, ביטחון בגבולות ומאמץ עליון להשבת כל החטופים הביתה. עד כה הצבנו את קו ההגנה. תקפנו. לאויב יש מאות רבות של הרוגים, תשתיותיו מושמדות. המצב בעזה הוא תוצאה של מעשיו הנפשעים של חמאס, שם האחריות.
Now, a tweet by Netanyahu's official account read that under no circumstances and at no stage was Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu warned of war intentions on the part of Hamas. According to Health Ministry in Hamas-run Gaza, they say war deaths have exceeded 8,000. Health authorities in the Gaza Strip of 2.3 million people say 7,650 Palestinians have been killed in Israel's campaign to obliterate the militants. On top of death and destruction, there is a worsening humanitarian crisis at play. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas shared the concerns of food, water, medicine, and fuel shortages. Gazans had barely any communications with the outside world. Israel's chief military spokesperson declined to say whether Israel was behind the telecommunications blackout that hit Gaza or not.
לגבי השאלה שלך על התקשורת, אנחנו מבצעים את כל מה שאנחנו צריכים על מנת להבטיח את כוחותינו ככל שנידרש, זמני או קבוע, ככל שנידרש. בנושא הזה אנחנו לא נאמר יותר.
Furthermore, Egypt's foreign ministry said that Israeli obstacles, including truck inspection procedures, were slowing down the prompt delivery of aid to the Gaza Strip. As the ground invasion continues, Israelis are protesting for the immediate release of hostages. Meanwhile, Hamas's leader in Gaza said the group stood ready to make an immediate exchange if Israel freed all the Palestinian prisoners it was holding. While Israel's military says that it has now counted 230 hostages taken to Gaza. Netanyahu made no commitment to any exchange deal, but assured hostage families that Israel would exhaust every option to bring them home. Qatar mediated negotiations between Israel and Hamas aimed at de-escalating the fighting, continued on Saturday, but at a much slower pace than before the escalation, mounting international outcry over the toll from the bombing and growing calls for a humanitarian pause to allow aid to reach Gazan civilians and ease the humanitarian crisis. The United Arab Emirates, which became the first Gulf country to normalize relations with Israel in 2020, condemned the Israeli ground operations in the Palestinian Gaza Strip. Meanwhile, U.S. Republican presidential candidates, including frontrunner Donald Trump, touted their unwavering support for Israel wiping out Palestinian Hamas militants.
Hello, California. And I don't care what imbeciles on college campuses say. I don't care what liars in the media say. I don't care what reprobates at the United Nations say. We stand with Israel. We stand with the people of Israel. The United States will have their back. We will give them what they need so that they can defend themselves. And that means not just a couple glancing blows. That means a complete and total victory in this conflict. Hamas must be no more at the end of this conflict.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.